Now, these are the top 5 things I learned after making 462 videos on YouTube. And make sure you take some notes because everything I am telling you is based on years of experience. I've been posting content on YouTube for 3 years. I've scaled multiple YouTube channels, including my main channel from 0 to 145,000 subscribers, and also my personal Instagram account to over 100,000 followers. And on YouTube specifically, in the past 3 years, I have posted 462 long-form videos, and I have learned so much that I'm going to share with you today. Now take out a notebook and make sure you take some notes. Let's get right into it. Lesson number 1, memorable wins. As an educational content creator specifically, it is so important to give information. It is so important to educate and teach. But the number 1 mistake that most people make when trying to teach is they just give information. Now, if people just wanted information, they would search ChatGPT, they would search Google, and they would just find information. But people resonate with personal brands because not just the information is there, but also the personal touch, the personality, the character, the authenticity, the personal stories, the experience. All of that adds on top of the information to provide the most amount of value. Now think about this. People don't just remember information, but they remember stories, they remember analogies, they remember specific examples. If people can picture what you were saying, that is when it sticks, and that is when they are most likely to remember it. Now, if I tell you don't think of a pink elephant, the first thing you are going to do is visualize and imagine a pink elephant. That's just how the mind works. So if you want to teach, you want to give analogies because analogies make complicated ideas seem obvious. For example, I like to give content success, growing your personal brand, like the analogy of a house. You see, building a house takes time, and for a long time, you're just going to be laying bricks on top of each other, and it just doesn't really look like a house, right? You might even lay brick for years, and all you're seeing is just bricks laid on top of each other, but eventually it starts to look like a house. You start to see the foundation, you start to see the walls going up, you start to see the shape of the house. And then with the last and final bricks, the house is built. And that is the final product of the success you want to build. But let me ask you this, are the last bricks more important than the first ones? They aren't. Every single brick is equal. The first bricks are just as important as the last ones. Content is the exact same. You need to build the foundation just like you're going to build the foundation when you're building a house. If somebody doesn't understand the basics, providing them with more complex information without backstory, without context, without analogies, is just going to confuse them even more. So you want to give people memorable wins, especially when you are giving information. You don't want to just give information. You don't want to just educate. You want to educate with a twist. You want to provide information with your unique stories, your personal touch, with your mindset, with your wisdom, and with the way you speak. Everybody is authentic and unique by just being themselves. So the number 1 way you can stand out with your YouTube videos, which ultimately is going to give you the growth, is just by being yourself. Now, what does it mean being yourself? It just means stop trying to be like everybody else. It is good to get examples and get inspired by other creators, but don't try to be like the next Alex Hormozi, like the next Iman Gaji. Be yourself. So every single YouTube video, long form that I post, I start off with the very basic points, very basic and foundational principles. And then as I go along, I expand on them and I provide more complex information with stories, with analogies, with examples, and I make sure everything is structured. With YouTube videos, you want to signal to the person watching the video that you put effort and time into the video. People like to reciprocate. If somebody saw, and they can already see by the way you make your video, the way you talk, the way everything is presented, that you put a lot of time and effort into making the video, the viewers are going to reciprocate by wanting to watch. Now, lesson number 2, attention is earned. Not just in the first 30 seconds, but in the middle of the video and at the end of the video. Every single part of the video has to keep the viewer's attention, and not in the way you might think, not by, fancy editing. Truth is, you don't need fancy and crazy editing to get viewer attention. It's more about the whole packaging of a video. It's not just about the editing. It is about the idea, the thumbnail, the title, the intro, the theme, the way you talk, the way it's edited. There are so many elements that make a YouTube video good. And good YouTube videos posted consistently over time make a good and growing channel. The first 30 seconds do matter, but people also neglect the rest of the video. And this brings me to the next question to actually earn attention. How are you unique? What makes you unique? Now think about this. You might think that your videos are special. You might spend 5 hours, 10 hours making a single video just for it to get 50 views, 100 views. I've been there as well. What you want is not the same as what the market wants. You might think that a video is good just because you put a lot of time into it, but that doesn't mean it's good. I have had so many times where I put so much effort and so many hours and energy into the video and it just flopped. Now the reason there is because I just didn't focus on the right things. Even though I thought the video was good, objectively it wasn't good. Think about this for just a second. If you want to grow on YouTube, if you want to grow your personal brand, you need to think of things from a viewer's perspective. So number 1, you're not competing in isolation. Every time your video is shown, it is shown next to at least 5, 6, 7, 8 videos. And even when people decide to watch your video, they're deciding to sit down, do nothing else besides watch your video when they could be playing sports, playing tennis, playing paddle, going to the gym, hanging out with friends, working on their business, their career, studying. Your viewer not only has other videos to watch, but even if they do sit down and watch videos, they just have so many other things to do. Why should somebody watch your video? Like, honestly, just ask yourself this, no matter if the answer hurts your feelings. Why would somebody take time out of their day to watch your videos instead of doing something else, or instead of watching all of the other videos that are out there? And not to mention that YouTube, Instagram, personal branding is so competitive. You know how many people are actually starting YouTube channels, starting to talk to the camera, starting, Instagram personal brands? There are so many people who are starting to post content online. And because there are so many people, the competition is high. And because the competition is high, if you want to grow, then you're going to need to stand out. You are going to need to earn attention. Instead of thinking from your own narrowed perspective, thinking like, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to make a video about? You need to think of things like from the viewer. What does the viewer want to watch next? Now, if you're enjoying and getting value out of this video, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's go to lesson number 3. Content is architecture. Now, before I write anything, before I start scripting or writing scripts, I always decide where I want my viewer to end up. Now, mentally, a viewer, as soon as he clicks on your YouTube video, he's going through a journey. So if you are not scripting out your content and not treating your content like a structure that you architect, then you are going about things the wrong way. You need to be like your own architect and treat your videos like that. Everything from the title, the thumbnail, and especially the script of the video. When you sit down to make videos and you're like, I'm gonna talk about anything, I'm gonna talk about what comes to my mind, it's gonna set you up for failure. Because with no proper script, no proper structure, what happens is you just go everywhere. And if you go everywhere, you go nowhere. You're talking about 5 different things, you miss the point entirely, and you just spend minutes yapping. Now, yapping can work, but for the majority of people, just like me and you, it is not a reliable strategy to grow. And it also burns you out because you don't really have guidance. And you have to refilm a couple of times. You have to, think about what you're gonna say, and you even make more mistakes. With every video, you need a proper script, you need structure. Whether this is a full script, word for word, or what I like to do is have a skeleton. Have the intro scripted, and then everything else is just bullet points that jog my memory and help me and guide me to where I want to go. And this is essentially like a roadmap for your video. And when you follow this roadmap, the people who are listening follow this as well. And this helps avoid confusion. It helps keep your messages and your videos very dimensional and clear. And this brings me to the next point before the 4th lesson. Every section should naturally lead into the next one. Think about this. If you're just going from place to place, from part to part with no transition, then you're creating such a big jump for the viewer and it's gonna feel not smooth. So what we do with our scripts for the YouTube videos is simple. From the intro to the first part, there is a transition. From the first part to the second part, there is a transition. And even from the last part to the CTA, the call to action, there's also a transition. Every single part has a transition to the next. This keeps the video smooth, it keeps the video directional and intentional. You can't just end the video by just saying, join my community or whatever your call to action is. But what you can do is create a transition. For example, you'd be talking about discipline, and then you can say discipline is so important, and the most crucial part of discipline is simple. It is surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and that's exactly why I created my private community, Discipline OS. You can join in the link below. That is a much better and much smoother transition to your CTA. So the aim is to make a video with key points that seamlessly transition into one another and just creates this amazing fundamental roadmap from A to Z. With every video, you take people, your viewers, through one transformation. And that takes me to lesson number 4. Clarity beats complexity. So for a long time, I used to think making my videos sound smarter would make them better. But what that did is it just confused the viewers. By sounding complex, by making everything complex and making your vocabulary and your wording and everything just so high level, instantly you are creating confusion. And when viewers are confused, they click off. What actually helped the retention of the videos, what actually helped people understand is by making things simple. Simplicity is everything. If you're ever overthinking, if you're ever in doubt, just think, how do I make this as simple as possible? So you probably heard this before, but the best way to learn something is to teach it yourself. And if you can't teach an idea to anybody and make it as simple as possible, then you probably don't understand it properly enough. Do not confuse the viewer. This is something I'm still working on till this day, because it sounds nice on paper to make everything sound smart, intelligent, and complex. But the truth is, people just want simple. The goal is to make people watch your video and think, oh, that actually makes sense. Or something like, yeah, that makes sense. I think I could implement this in my life. That is when you know that your ideas are tangible and simple. And that is when your content brings the most value to people. When they can watch your video and take the information, take everything that they learned, and actually implement it into their own life. Now let's get into the last point, which is by far the most important. Lesson number 5. Your audience is always telling you the answer. You need to study your analytics, and I don't mean checking your analytics and refreshing 5 times in an hour, but I mean like once a week, twice a week. Take a look at your past videos. Take a look at the analytics, the retention graph, and pick out the right things and learn the right things from your analytics. Because the retention graph tells you exactly the moment that people stop caring. If you notice that your retention is bad, that's actually a good thing. Find out where people are dropping. Find out if the retention is really low and ask yourself why. Why are people not clicking? Or why are people clicking and then not watching? Or why are people watching and then clicking off mid-video? And also, this is a very big thing. You want to look at your comments. Once you start getting comments, people are literally going to tell you what is good about your video. Some people said my music in the videos was too loud. In some videos, some people said that it's too fast-paced. I used too many cuts. And based on this feedback, I adjusted and tweaked every video. So if something comes up in your comments time and time again, multiple times, that is a sign. I mean, if just one person says that your video is too long or your video is boring, that's not enough. But if 2 people or 3 people or 5 people say the same thing, then it's a sign that you have to change. So basically, every single video tells you how to get better the next one. A lot of people will post a video and then seconds later, minutes later, they're on analytics, YouTube Studio, and they're just refreshing to see how the video performed. Now, I'm saying this because I used to do this for a long time. Think about this. One video out of, the 500 or 1,000 videos that you were going to post in your career as a personal brand, it is such a small percentage. So why would you worry about one video when you're going to be posting so many more? Once you post a video, nothing you can do is going to change the performance of the video. As soon as it's posted and published, there's nothing you can do, so don't bother looking at the analytics. Don't bother obsessing over views and if it went up, if it gained views, if it's top 10, 1 out of 10 on the YouTube Studio, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that before uploading the video, you made sure every input was 100%. You made sure the thumbnail was good, you made sure the packaging was good, proven. You made sure the title was curiosity evoking. You made sure the hook was strong and the video was actually good. You made sure you used transitions properly. You made sure just every part of the video is good. And then when you upload, it's done. I'm not saying don't look at analytics, but I am saying look at analytics in the right way. Look at the analytics of your channel as a whole. Compare the performance of your last 10, 20 videos. That is going to give you actual data and feedback to change something. And now one of the last and most important things is just rewatch your own video. I can't tell you how many times I have watched my own videos after uploading just to see what can I improve? How did I speak? How was the video? Because by watching your video, you can take out a notebook just like this and write down what did I say properly? Where did I stray off the point? And you can write down feedback for yourself. You can break down and analyze your own videos, which is arguably one of the best things. Think about a boxer. Think about a professional athlete, a football player. A lot of these top athletes, what they do is they watch back their own games. They watch back their own games to see where they went well, how they performed, and where they can improve. So these are all the strategies that I've learned over the last 3 years, making over 400 long-form videos on YouTube. Now, I hope you've taken notes and you're going to implement what you've learned in your own personal brand. Now, I post videos like this every single week to help you grow your personal brand. So subscribe for the journey and I'll see you in the next one.